guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my Zidane's pool video, and for everybody new to the channel, I skip blue orbs and I'll let gold orbs play out. So as far as Zidane and Istola, I already pulled all of Istola's kit in the past and have her fully maxed out, so I am good to go with her. Very happy about that. I don't have any of Zidane's kit, and if you don't have any of these two characters, which one do I think you should pull on? I think you should probably use your resources. Not probably, but I would highly suggest that you use it on Zidane's banner. Zidane and Beatrix is a lot better value than Istola and Rinoa. Rinoa is just like you're not going to even be using her. At least I don't think so. Beatrix in itself, she is just definitely almost worth being on her own banner in a way. So the fact that you're getting her alongside Zidane's banner, that is almost like a must-have. Almost. So if you're a new player to the game, I would probably suggest you, if you're gonna grind, the story mode out and you're gonna accumulate other resources, and you are gonna invest, then you're gonna get a lot of resources here coming up. I probably would get Zidane because he is going to help you clear so much old content. And let's say that you came in late and don't even have, let's say for example, Vaughn or Tifa, then I would probably go for him because he is, one, you have a chance of getting the burst, and two, his main thing is going to be turn deletion, not delaying, deletion. Delaying, you're just going to move an enemy's turn 1, 2, or 3 turns back, right? But with him, you're going to completely eliminate the turn. Something similar to like a Metatilian, if you're familiar with him. His LD, when you use it, it deletes all of the next enemy's turns. So here I don't plan on green Istola or Zidane unless I really need to. I have so many characters and I use so many resources here in the past just because, as far as weapon upgrade resources, and that I'm running super low on ingots to max out a character's EX. So getting into Zidane's kit is going to be mainly for turn deletion. That's what you really are going to want him for. His kit has the ability to do a little bit of everything. He's not great at, the only thing he's actually great, or I think the best in, is turn deletion, and here I do get his LD. So started off already really good with tickets, and so I'm gonna, at this point, all I need now is his EX. If I get his burst, it's gonna be like a consolidation prize. It's gonna be something that, for me, I don't think it's gonna change the game for me. At least I don't think so. But at this point, there's characters that even don't have burst that when they come out with their LDs, they're designed to keep up with the current content. So even in the future, you're going to have characters that are going to surpass Zidane when it comes down to their LDs, the power that they can do with their LD. So that's the reason I'm not stressing out about getting the burst. If I do, it's great. If I need to, then I'll probably throw a book at it. If there's a particular stage that I just cannot complete and I really need to do that. Other than that, I'm going to go straight into his kit. With this kit, all of his turns are a fast turn rate. And I've noticed that his S2, free energy, it seems like it's faster than his S1. So his S1 is a simple 2-hit AoE Brave HP attack. It's done 3 times. And then he's going to give himself Thievery, but that also is something that you get at the start of the quest. And now I'm talking about, at this point, I don't think there's a character you're going to have. You're not going to max him out and bring him to Lufenia Plus fight. So when I say at the start of the quest, you normally get these when you are maxing out the characters, boards, their weapons. So I'm gonna talk about it from that point on out. So he's gonna start off with Thievery. So you don't need to use his S1 to apply that buff, which gives him attack 50%. Then he's gonna also get Max Brave up 90%, which is nice. Now, the only reason you really want to use the S1 is for longevity, because you get 10 uses of it, and then he's also going to inflict speed down. So nothing special about Stellar Circle, his S1. When you get into his S2, I think that that's a little bit more useful because it hits harder, and then he's still going to, again, give himself Thievery, so whatever one you use, you're going to just keep that buff up, and then it's going to put a defense up on him, but a defense down on the enemy, and it's 50% defense down, so that's actually pretty good. I would probably end up using his S2 because again, it actually is a faster turn rate, I feel, than his S1, and you're going to be doing defense down. But you're going to start with him by using his LD. His LD is going to unbreak the targets and re-break them, and then it's going to give you a free ability use after you use it. But the main key is a place to call home buff that he gives himself for 14 turns. And what that's going to do is that it is going to allow you to delete that enemy's turn whenever you're breaking that target. And you get a free turn right afterwards. It's an instant and free turn right after that. So here I get also Beatrix's LD. I'm like super excited about that because now I have her full kit. I just need to max it out, and she's going to be very useful in the future. And I will probably just make a video on Beatrix alone. She does, I think, healing, but I end up I end up pulling for this man's. I get his burst. I get his burst on a blue orb. I think I'm more excited now to pull for blue orbs than I am for gold orbs. So the only thing I need now is his EX. Yes, I get super lucky with pulls. Check out the other videos. You're gonna be super surprised. I think I'm one of the luckiest people when it comes down to pulls. I swear. So anyway, so now with this burst, I am good to go. It doesn't change whether I'm gonna give him a book or not. Again, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out a bit. But going back to his kit, his LD, re-breaks the target and gives them a 14 turn buff called a place called home. And what that's gonna allow you to do is you're gonna be able to delete that a target's turn whenever you break them. Now, why is that good? Because I'm thinking, how about if you pair him up with Sephiroth? Two Sephiroths, one you have one and a friend unit. Sephiroth's burst effect is gonna bring all the enemies H or brave to one every single turn for 3 turns, right? And so now if you continuously keep breaking with Zidane, I mean, it's like the enemy should never have a turn. It should be 0 boss turns. But the problem is that I'm seeing that a lot of Lufenia plus missions and things like that, or just Lufenia in general, is gearing towards allowing the enemy to attack, which is the reason that I'm not going to be greening him or right off the bat. It's you're deleting turns, but if enemies need to take turns, then Zidane can actually hurt you instead of helping you. Now, from here on out, I'm not sure how things are going to play out. I haven't done my research that far ahead. But here I use all my tickets, and as you can see, I am not getting this man's EX. So at this point, I might have to go in here with gems. I'm going to think about it, and the reason being is that because his EX is what's going to give you the ability to launch enemies, and it's going to give a max brave. Now I'm not going to be spending gems on a max brave up, but he does launch. It does help, to get his EX, because then it turns his, I believe, his HP attack, or it gives him, sorry, Mug. His EX turns, I believe, into Mug, which is going to be something that does not consume. It's not going to consume your brave, so it's going to keep him safe. But then it's going to extend his own buffs by 1 turn, and it also gives you a free and instant turn afterwards. So his EX, I think, is something that's pretty crucial to his kit, because if you do have a place where you do need to be launching the enemies, then that's where you want the EX, and then all the different things you get from it as well. So I I'm gonna I need to get his EX. Or at least I'm gonna try to get his EX. And I might have to go in there with more tickets. I'll probably end up using more tickets, going through the Pandemonium, Divine Pandemonium, and maybe using about 100 tickets. If I can get his EX with about 100 tickets, then I am gonna go and probably gem it. So uh, all in all, what you're doing is, again, LD to give the ability to delete turns, and then from there on you're using S1 and S2. That's really what you're doing. Most likely you're going to be using S2 whenever you need to jump the turn up, things like that, and that's it, right? So at this point, he has good damage. You're going to be doing a lot of turns with him, so dealing out a lot of damage. You don't inflict any huge debuffs to the enemy, except that I think that defense down minus 50%, and he doesn't provide any buffs to your party, so he's pretty selfish in that aspect. Now, where Zidane starts to be a battery, or starts to battery the party, starts to heal the party, is going to come from his burst effect. When he does his burst effect, you're going to get something for 10 turns called Grand Lethal. Now, Grand Lethal is going to give your party brave damage up 40%. Stolen max brave overflow. Party damage cap up by 20%. And then whenever the party attacks a debuff enemy, it's going to give them HP damage up 20%. Now, when Zidane also inflicts a debuff, which is, again, with everything he does, that's when he's going to start to heal the party. So think about, if he uses S1, his S2, it doesn't matter. you're gonna start healing the party after every turn by 100% of max HP. Then after that, if you're at max HP, all that's gonna get converted into Brave. So think about more like Root, if you've ever played with Root. And so then it's going to also increase the party Brave by 50% of their own max Brave. So his his burst effect is really good. One thing to consider is, oh, well, he's healing now, right? Yes, but remember, everything he does is a high turn rate. So a lot of his moves, you're going to most likely end up jumping in front of a lot of characters, so that you have to try to prolong those 10 turns for his grand lethal, because it is a lot of turns. But the problem is that if everything he does is a fast turn rate, then you're going to be consistently jumping over your characters. Maybe for you it's worth using an HP attack or a brave attack, so you don't jump up so much, for example. So you just have to be careful with that and think about that. It's not like you're going to heal, I think, for the entire duration of the battle, unless, let's say, you don't bring a healer. You need to heal, so you go into his burst effect, you heal as much as you need to, but then afterwards you swap him out for a friend unit, so that when Zidane comes back, then you can keep healing again. That is one strategy on having him as a really good healer throughout the whole match, is again swapping him out for a friend unit right after you heal with his burst effect, so that way you're not jumping, a lot of turns ahead. So maybe you can swap him out for like a Cloud of Darkness friend, right? You come in and she's doing all this damage, and then by that time, if you start taking damage, then you can bring Zidane right back in, and you still have his burst effect up. Now, if you have a friend unit, you can't stack both burst effects on top of each other, but you can use Zidane. Once his burst effect is out, then you can bring in a friend unit, Zidane, things like that. So there are ways that you can keep up the healing for the majority of the match. And then you're also, again, going to be giving your party members, you're going to be battering them. That's part of what his grand lethal burst effect does. Now that we're getting into the BT plus, right? So now, is it worth giving them a book? Yes and no. It's what you get from it's going to be great, but do you need it? If you can't clear content, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, because this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to give somebody a book just because somebody says, oh, you should. The only one that I will, for the reason being, is that he's still being used in JP, I think even until today, is Ace. Like, there's no questions asked. I'm going to go for Ace, right? But for Zidane, I think that he's good for a bit of time, and then, again, other characters start to come out that completely do more damage just by their LDs alone. And so I'm going to only, again, give him the book if I need to. So what happens when you end up giving him a book? Well, the BT plus, it's going to become, instead of a 2-hit, a 3-hit attack, and that's going to do more damage. And then you're going to also increase Brave by 100% instead of 60% before the last HP attack. But then you're going to significantly increase the max Brave cap of that final move, which is from 149, 9988, so 150,000 is the cap, but now the cap is pretty much 500 or half a million, 499,998. So you're going to increase it by almost 3 times by just giving him the book. You're going to significantly do more damage. Now, is a book worth that amount of damage? Honestly, for me, not really, because you can do that with one of Tifa's attacks alone. And so I think if you're going to start green and giving somebody a book, it's because you're kind of going to go all in with that particular character, right? With this burst. If you're not, then I probably wouldn't do the book. Now, that's in my own opinion. If you have extra books, then go for it, right? Why would you want to keep books around? They don't do any damage by just sitting there. So if there's only a few characters you plan on green and you have extra books, then go for it, right? But I don't think it's worth giving him the book, because if you bring the right calls, if you bring in the right team, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage, where that book, I don't think is going to win you a match because you brought the book or you gave him a book. So that's my personal opinion. Now, if you give him an ingot after that, it's going to give him one more turn on his burst mode. For me, that's not a big deal. Again, nothing that's going to, I think, help you out tremendously. What is going to help you out, I think, tremendously is going and giving him, let's say, for example, 2 ingots. At that point, it's going to add party brave damage up by another 20%. But every time that Zidane successfully inflicts a buff, which again, it's with every single thing he does, is he's gonna increase the party brave by 50% of his max brave. So now he's healing and he's providing huge brave gains to your party. And so that's what you're gonna really want from providing on those ingots and stuff like that, is you're gonna end up going for him becoming a battery. That's the way I see it. Is if you're going to start spending resources on the burst, what do you get from that? You get more damage, sure. Is it damage that's going to justify winning a match? I don't think so. But if you end up giving him 2 ingots, for example, then he's going to start creating, he's going to be a battery. So at that point, more damage, but with battery. So now your characters can do more damage. Then yes, then it starts becoming, I think, worth it. I think just this burst effect alone can get you through a lot of things. Again, for Divine Pandemonium, that Lufinia Plus, it doesn't require, I believe, for you to give him a book. It doesn't need anything within his within any of the stages of his Burst Plus. So it's good enough with just his LD, in my opinion. So that's the reason I'm not going to give him a book. If you end up pulling on Zidane, you're not going to go wrong. If you're a new player to the game, what's my opinion? My opinion is try to go for his LD. If you want, because if you're a new player, you probably don't have a Metatailing, you probably don't have Ultimecia, and he's going to be your only turn deletion character, which is going to help you with a lot of older content. So if you're a new character or a new player to the game and you're going to be grinding for resources, I say pull for him. You're going to potentially get 2 really good characters, Beatrix, and you're going to get Zidane. As far as greening him, you can't go wrong if you green him, because everything he does is really good. But it's not in my plans, neither him or Y'shtola. There's other characters that I do want to try out in the future. But if you pull for him, good luck, and yeah, good luck on your pulls. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what you think about the banner, if you use tickets or gems, and also check out the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of useful information, and I'll see you in the next one.